Good morning and welcome to week 4. It's hard to believe we're already in week 4, but we are. So we're moving along to our Indigenous spirituality unit. So it's going to be 2 weeks long. And I've sort of just split the information up into the 2 weeks. So it's going to look a little daunting when you open up the folder because there's a lot of different files within this folder. But don't stress. You'll take your time. You'll read through it. You'll only have a discussion and an assignment this week to do. Everything else is just to read through the information, watch the videos, that kind of thing. And some of them are much smaller than other ones. Some are longer text, some are shorter text. Basically, what I've done is I've sort of tried to revamp some of my stuff that I've used last year and include a new resource this year. Anything that was sort of a Word type of document that I could go in and type in, I tried to change in the terms, the correct terms for Indigenous now. However, the newer resource that I've put in uses the term Aboriginal. So just be aware of that. We are moving towards using Indigenous in our work and in our spoken word, but not all the resources I can change because I don't have text files for it. So just bear with me. The ones that are text files, like I said, I've been trying to change them as best I can, but I may have missed a term here or there. So bear with me. I will get through it all and fix it all up for everyone. So like always, I start with our prayer. It's a Lenten prayer and our learning goals for the week. And then we're going to go through and there's some content. And like I said, some content's short, some of it's larger. So this is just a general overview of Indigenous spirituality and then sort of a worldview of Indigenous peoples. So again, short. Then we have a video here sort of about the sharing circle and shared values. It's about a 4 or 5 minute video. This is where things get a little bit longer to read. So this is some of the older stuff that I've tried to change and update a bit. So anything that you see like this that are lists, I would suggest that those would be good things to put in study notes if you make study notes, or anything that's in bold terms. Those are often, something that I would put in multiple choice type of questions on a test. So we have the shamanism, sex, faith keeper, shaman. These are key terms. And then spiritism, spiritualism. It's the same thing. I've put 2 definitions down there for you to sort of have that understanding of it, because I thought the one may not have fully made sense. So if you had 2, you might create your own understanding of that term. And then again, here are some key points for faith keepers and shamans. And like as we go through, again, it's just some text smaller, some are bigger. And again, looking for those key terms throughout. So we're looking at the common beliefs. We're looking at rituals, celebrations this week. So read through it, take some time to digest it and figure out what it is saying here. And you'll find a very common thread when we go through all of our units that we look at the same things: rituals, celebrations, common beliefs, that kind of thing. Here's a festival. So I tried to put it in a chart to make it easy for you to understand. And then characteristics of a ritual. Again, another good type of multiple choice question. We have some information here again about rituals and a dream rite. And then we have a lot about the powwow. So the powwow is a very important dance, right? It's a very important celebration. It's very important to Indigenous people. So there's a lot on here to read through, and there's a lot that I've learned. Unfortunately, some of these links don't work, and I can't change them again because it's not a Word file. So just bear with me. Don't worry about the links if they don't work. I don't expect you to go and try and figure out where they are. So it tells you a lot about it. It breaks it down very nicely, like the setup, the different types of dancing, that kind of thing. So read through it. Again, take some time to digest it. And like I said, there's a lot of files here for it. So it does a really great job of just making it into small manageable pieces about the powwow. And so, like I said, it's a pretty long amount of content about the powwow, but it does a really good job of breaking it down. So then we're going to enter a discussion. So the discussion is on rituals. So you're going to share a special ritual or festival that you or your parents celebrate and sort of discuss what that ritual is and what you do and that kind of thing. And then you're going to post that original one, and then you have to comment on 2 other classmates' posting. So just make sure that you're being respectful, because everyone has their own ideas of what family rituals are and what they do. And I'll give you a hint. A lot of students tend to lose marks on the discussion boards, and discussion boards should be a really great way for you to get marks because they don't comment on other people's posts. And sometimes it's because you put your post first, nobody else commented, and then they forget to go back. Try and remind yourself to always go back to the discussion boards, because it's really key to pick up those extra little bit of marks, because when it comes down to the end of the course, you might need them, right? So make sure you're commenting on other people's work. And then the assignment for this week is looking at a creation story. So I've included the instructions here, the rubric, the Dropbox, and your due date. So here are the instructions. What you need to do is you are going to find a, now see, I already didn't fix this up. I'm sorry. Indigenous creation story. I will fix this up later on, and analyze it. So you're going to explain sort of the significance of the story. Give me sort of a summary of that story and explain it. So what was it what was the beginning of it? Is there a supreme being in the story? Who is it? What were they doing? What change happens during the story? What's the conflict, and sort of what leads up to that conflict? And then what is the result of that conflict? So you're going to present this in a sort of a write-up, right? So this is not question and answer. You need to do proper paragraphs, 1 to 2 pages, double-spaced, 12-point font, or you can do a slideshow in Google Slides and just present all of that information as well. So I've told you approximately how many words. I give those because if I don't give you approximate pages or approximate word counts, I'll have some people that will write me 10 pages, and I'll have some people that will write me, a quarter of a page. And so I'm trying to give you an outline of what I expect so that you can work around it. Sometimes people only write 3/4 of a page, but they've written it so well and they've answered everything that they needed to answer in that 3/4 of a page. That's not a problem. I'm not going to stress about that. Where I worry is when I have someone write me a couple of sentences and think that that's a whole assignment. So I've given you some suggestions of tribes to look at here and to try and figure out one of their creation stories. You can do some research and find it. Make sure, though, when you are researching, you're including where you got that information from. And in APA, so if you're not sure how to do APA, make sure you're going back to the resource section or week 1 to show you how to do APA. So that is your assignment. And then there is the rubric here that I've created. So I'll use that to mark you, and you're submitting it to the Dropbox by the 5th of March. If you have any questions this week, just send me an email. Don't stress about it. I know it looks like there's a lot of files, but I think you'll get through that reading pretty easily. I think you'll be able to do it in like 2 or 3 days. So I think you'll be good. I will be having open office hours on Wednesday from 7 to 8 if you have any questions. And like always, you can just send me an email at any time. Have a wonderful week.